Welcome to the Intercourse Show. I am your host, Mr. B. Today we have a very exciting show for you. We are discussing the recent appearance of Nicki Minaj and President Trump hand in hand uh, as she really takes a position. Who knew that Nicki Minaj was more conservative minded than most other celebrities? But she did decide that it was time for her to step out and let the world know what she stands for and what she represents. So, that being said, we're going to go ahead and react to Patrick Bet David as him and his crew reacts to the clips and weighs in their their feedback on it, and I'll also share my Christian perspective as to Nicki Minaj's position on Hollywood and the dark Grammy rituals that she's coming out against. So, without any further ado, let's jump right into this clip.
And by the way, here's another thing. You know, the Michael Wolf had the 100 and something plus hours. I had Michael Wolf.
Is that the guy you interviewed?
Yeah, we had him on the podcast a couple months
Little
ago.
dude with the glasses?
Trump threatens to sue Michael Wolf for the Epstein conspiracy. So let me tell you, something happened yesterday at the Grammys, which kind of I'll transition into that because I don't think there's anything else to cover here. We'll go into the Grammys. At the Grammys, they're saying what they're saying. I think, Trevor Noah was up there making fun of Nicki Minaj and saying, "Hey, Nicki, where are you?" Oh, Nicki's not here. Nicki's still at the White House with the president. And while he is impersonating Trump, right behind Trevor Noah is John Legend's wife. I don't know what her
Christy
name
Teigen.
is. Christy
Christy
Teigen,
Teigen.
right? Is this the one, Rob? Is that the one you have right there?
I believe so.
I think this is it. Go forward, Rob.
Every single person here, John Legend, Billie Eilish, Phineas, Nicki Minaj is not here. She is not here.
See the girl on the back, Christy? Yeah. Go back 2 seconds, Rob, if you could.
With Donald Trump.
Go back. Watch what she does. Glad that you're not here. Thumbs up.
She is still at the White House with Donald Trump discussing very important issues. Actually, Nicki, I have the biggest ass. I have it. Everybody's saying it,
Oh,
Nicki. I know
so
they say
cringe.
it, but it's me. Wop, wop, wop. Look at it. Look at it.
I think it's important for me to pause here and just make a couple of statements. Um, this is very common. You know, when you're not with Hollywood, you're against them. And the whole crew of them folks, comes against you. It seems like Nicki is drawing her line in the sand. She doesn't see herself as associating with these folks. And she's now stepping out and actually speaking out against them. Now, I thought in America, you had the right to speak your mind. You had the right to have your own opinions. But apparently, if you're not part of the group think, then you become a target for attack. And as you can see, Trevor Noah, who's a guy, he's not my cup of tea in terms of comedians, but he's apparently a spokesperson for, anti-Trump rhetoric. Since Nicki seems to be aligned more so with Trump, she now becomes a target. And as you can see, they're trying to rally the crowd around her. So now, the point that they were talking about earlier was John Legend's wife putting her thumb up almost to say that she's glad that Nicki Minaj is not there, as if to say that space is better off without her presence in there. And I think this happens, right? I think in Hollywood, you're either a part of the in crowd or you're not. And if you're not, they do all the little shady things behind your back to kind of shun you. But what's so fake about this whole process is that at one point, these people would smile in your face. And as long as you were having a similar talking points as they did, they were on board with you. But the moment you change up and you decide you want to go a different direction, they're not on board with you. So this is evidence of this type of behavior in Hollywood. And, it's a dog-eat-dog world, to be honest. Let's get back.
Okay, so that's happening. Nicki goes on Twitter, and you'll see what point I'm trying to make. I'm going to bring you back to Trump here. Nicki goes on Twitter, and they're showing me these tweets. Tom follows Nicki very closely. And so Nicki, this is what she tweets. Your favorite artist has been practicing rituals in a satanic cult where they take babies from other countries and...
You have it listen, you type it in, and then you go digging.
mutilate and kill them as a form of blood sacrifice to their God. You see, when your master is Satan, you must constantly shed blood. However, this jig is up, okay? Nicki, to say something like that, how many views does that get, Rob, the tweet? With, what is that, 8.6 million views? And then Alex Jones, out of all the people, thanks me, Nicki Minaj. I want to thank you for your courage and extend an invitation to you join me on the podcast. I loved your comment about Don Lemon. Okay, he's doing his thing. Apparently, there's more things going on. If you can go there, Rob, there's pictures of many major names. And one of the faces is right there, go up, go up, go up, go up, go up. She posts that picture of Jay-Z. And then go a little bit lower, and you'll see different pictures of Jay-Z with younger women.
Oh.
Okay, and I don't know who that is. Is that Aaliyah? When she
Aaliyah.
was what, 16 or something like that?
I think there's one, Rob, where she puts the age right
here.
there.
Zoom
15.
in.
16,
15,
age
16.
15.
Okay. So by the way, here's the difference. There's a lot of people on X that will say stuff that are nobodies, that'll tweet. And you're not going to go sue everybody that's going to do whatever they're going to say. Nicki Minaj is not nobody. If Nicki Minaj tweets something like this and Jay-Z doesn't sue, well, it's very different than what Trump does. If Trevor Noah said something to Trump as a joke on his stand-up against him and Bill Clinton and the island, and he likes islands because, you know, what do you call it, Epstein Island is no longer around, and Trump immediately sues, we haven't seen it yet, but he says he's going to, Michael Wolff. I mean, you got to just realize what's going to happen here. Is Jay-Z going to do anything to Nicki Minaj? She's making it very clear on what she's coming out with. So this is the part that you got to watch very closely on how Trump's handled this. Now, don't get me wrong. We've seen the clips that there was a relationship, that they would talk and the exchange and all this other stuff. Yes, we've seen that as well. But at the same time, there is levels to it. I think there was even one email exchange with Elon, right? On something about a visit, an island, and it wasn't available, and somebody wasn't available to go. Yep. And that was also public to the point that even Elon responded to that. Yep. If you guys go on Elon responded to the Epstein files, probably just Tallulah and me, what day night will be the wildest party on your island? Who's asking that question? Is that Epstein asking it?
According to this, it's Elon asking Epstein that.
Right. Okay, so Elon's asking Epstein that. Go back a little bit, Rob, and go to Elon's Elon responding to it, because Elon actually yeah, okay. Wow, it's so crazy. Epstein killed himself before realizing he was innocent, and Ghislaine Maxwell was in prison for what exactly? Oh, yeah, Epstein client arrest counter is still 0. Sorry, maybe a dumb question, but if there are Epstein files, videos, and names tied to serious crimes, why hasn't anyone been arrested yet? And he just responds in a condescending way. Keep going lower. He does respond to it. Is that it, Rob? That's it. Yeah. Epstein hounded me relentlessly to go into his pedo island and always declined. Not you, though. You actually went. What gifts did you bring to Epstein when you went to pedo island? Who is this? Reid Hoffman. Oh, so that's the Reid Hoffman LinkedIn, right? Go a little bit lower. Let's see what's in the email, Rob. Zoom in a little bit so we can see it. Likewise, I bought a gift that will wait for the next opportunity. Hope DC was good. Sorry, I was really for looking to forget seeing you and spending time. Come visit, please note. Okay, that's what Reid Hoffman and LinkedIn and Epstein communicating with each other.
Yes,
yeah,
sir.
he's
Know what that is?
Yeah, he was there a lot.
So obviously, and by the way, I believe if I'm not mistaken, Reid Hoffman financed whose legal?
The blonde crazy
Eugene Carroll.
Eugene Carroll.
Eugene Carroll.
Oh, wow. Oh, he's
Can you
anti-Trump.
type in Reid Hoffman, Eugene Carroll?
Funded.
Yeah, there's the connections here with what's going on. I mean, it's
deep.
By the way, do you realize if Trump doesn't win in 2024, how they would have handled this?
Oh my goodness.
Say Trump doesn't win, Kamala's a president. You know what the world would believe? They said whoever controls the president controls history.
Wow.
Whoever controls the president controls history. If Kamala's in a way, they're controlling history. What story would they be telling?
Ooh.
How would they be spinning it? Reid Hoffman, billionaire tech investment co-founder of LinkedIn, did financially support E. Jean Carroll in her civil lawsuit against Trump. Hoffman publicly acknowledged that he helped fund Carroll's legal effort after the initial verdict. Says his support was motivated by opposition to Trump and belief in Carroll's case. The funding was routed through a nonprofit legal support structure, not paid directly to Carroll personally. This is commonly described as third-party litigation funding, which is legal in civil cases. So
for those who's not following along, this lady who who had her legal fees funded by Reid Hoffman, a Hollywood elite, is the lady that alleged that Donald Trump sexually assaulted her in some sort of like retail store or something like that. He just went up there and did his business right there in public. And it was a story that she doesn't fully remember. I mean, it's a crazy story, but it ended up being the story that they said that he got convicted of that in New York. He got convicted not of I guess of trying to hush up the story. I don't know what they convicted him of, but they're supposedly he's a felon in part for these allegations. And the case was filed in a New York court, which is a lot of liberal judges, and they were trying to pin something on him. She won this exorbitant amount of judgment, and Trump was allegedly supposed to pay her all this money, like hundreds of millions of dollars. Come to find out, when he got elected, he appealed the case. It was found that he didn't have to pay her the money that they said that she had to pay her. But what's being exposed here is that this lady didn't just wake up out of nowhere and decide that she was wronged after like 30, 40 years. This was part of what seems to be a bit of a plan to muddy the waters for Donald Trump and to dirty his name and to make him look like a sex offender and to kind of build a bad public image of him, to tarnish his reputation, if you will, in an effort to prevent him from winning the White House and going back into a position of power as the president. So these cases happened during Joe Biden's term, in the last 4 years, going from 2020 to 2024. But what's being revealed is that these Hollywood celebrities, were funding this lady's legal fees to sort of go after Trump in this manner, right? And once you sort of pull the veil back, you start to see it was all a part of a plot to make him look bad and to prevent him from winning the case. What Patrick is saying is true. To the victor goes the spoils. Whoever it is that wins gets to tell the story that history will remember. And so luckily Trump was able to regain the presidentship, in 2024, and now he can attack or begin to erase this narrative that was brought up to tarnish his name. But Patrick is raising the point, had he not won, this would have been a story that stuck to him in the history books.
Eve to me is basically freedom. It's a giant open universe where you can.
in other words, Reid Hoffman funds E. Jean Carroll, Elon Musk funds Tommy Robinson. Go figure. One is trying to keep a country and EU safer. The other one is trying to make sure a guy goes to prison for something he allegedly never did. And what did E. Jean Carroll say in that interview to Anderson Cooper? I really like you.
Yeah.
I really like
rape. Some people like enjoy.
What is rape to you? Rape is a fantasy.
Let's go to commercial.
It's a fantasy.
Yeah.
Hey, Rachel, do you want to go shopping? What do you want me to buy you? You want to go to France? You want to go to Paris? Weird stuff. So
the lady was cooked. Like, I mean, let me see if I can pull up a clip of what she was actually saying. You could tell this lady was working in cahoots with some of the liberal people just to make Trump look bad. E.g. Carroll. I'll let it play as I look that up. So
anyways, the Grammy stuff was a whole mess, but in the Grammy stuff, in all this craziness that you're seeing, Vinny, I'll come to you on the Nicki Minaj thing and responses. Anything you want to add to the Nicki Minaj before we go to Joe?
Just the one thing, because you pointed out Christy Teigen. I want everybody to remember Go back, do your own due diligence and your own research. In 2020, she deleted 60,000 tweets. And if you really think about, by the way, and we keep hearing this pizza thing, Pat, if you look at the code words that these people use, pizza was either a young boy or a young girl or whatever the hell it was. She said tweets that were deleted talking about, I'm watching Tots and Tiaras, whatever. And she's like, I wish they would do splits and I want pizza on my chest. It's
This lady was cooked. Now I'm going to share the clip that they were talking about earlier of the Anderson Cooper interview 6 years ago when Trump was accused of this particular.
For you, this was kind of a New York moment. Like
one of the best just like the best New York. Donald Trump is going to put on a filmy bodysuit. It's like, oh, I couldn't. So let's go in the dressing room. I thought, yeah, I'm going to make him put those pants on. Walked in, and the minute I was in there, he shut the door and pushed me up against the wall and bang my head on the wall and kissed me. It was so shocking. He put his shoulder against me to hold me against the wall. And at that point, I realized that I was in a very difficult situation.
Did he say anything?
No. It was just like, we're going to do this thing. We're just so hot for each other. Why would I even try to think what he was thinking? Anyway, so he pushed me, held me with the shoulder, and I was wearing a coat dress and tights, and he pulled down the tights.
Given the prior accusations, which have all been of forms of assault or harassment, you're saying there was actual penetration?
Yes.
Did you, which puts it into a different category of any of the other who have come forward. I think that is the definition of rape. One definition.
That's the definition. Yes.
How long?
Brief. Brief, because when a woman is stamping her feet,
That's what you're doing. You started stamping your feet.
I always think back and think, that was the stupidest. And then be unable to stop him. And I was a competitive athlete, so I wasn't like I didn't freeze. I rose to the occasion, and it did not last long. And that's why I don't use the word you just used. I use the word fight.
I have no idea who this woman is. This is a woman who's also accused other men of things, as you know. It is a totally false accusation. I think she was married, as I read, I have no idea who she is, but she was married to a actually nice guy, Johnson, a newscaster, standing with my coat on in a line. Give me a break. With my back to the camera. I have no idea who she is. What she did is it's terrible. What's going on? So it's a total false accusation, and I don't know anything about her. And she's made this charge against others.
If you live in a Maryland zip code and have 0 DUIs in the last 5 years.
So that was the clip that they were talking about with the lady, but this was a quick summary of the actual event 6 years ago, the allegation she made. Trump don't even know her. But this lady went out there. Now they're connecting the dot that this lady was actually, her legal fees was being paid by some liberal folks on that side, right? So this lady was just not a very credible witness. And but you know, at the time, the forces in power was Trump's opposition, and they were managed to get him a conviction and stain his name as a result. And that's sort of what they're referring to here. In that,
disgusting. If you're innocent, why would you delete 60,000 tweets? But I absolutely love what Nicki Minaj is doing, Pat. She's saying it as it is. There's no way somebody with that many followers is just gonna come out and say, "Oh, I saw ritualistic killings and blah 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 blah." I don't think she's lying. Explain that to me. Seeing little girls do the splits half naked is just, I want to put myself in jail. What the hell are you talking about? Think about that. We're adults. What is she talking about? And then why are you deleting it and then coming back and saying, no, everybody's attacking me and I feel for my safety? Nah, he just said the cleanest and the best pleasure is to have sex with a 13-year-old. Up until that. Very, very funny. And the list goes on. I'm about to Anthony Weiner this kid. What does that mean?
What the hell is wrong?
What does that mean? And then there's a video of her with John Legend.
9:36 p.m. She's obviously on drugs or drinking.
Or something.
My speculation would be it's 9:36 p.m. to say something dumb like this.
And do you remember when she's getting interviewed? Her and her husband, John Legend, are getting interviewed by somebody, and you don't even have to show Rob. And they go, John Legend looked like he saw a ghost. She goes, yeah, that one time that we hooked up, or they were talking about sex at the Obama thing, and he looked like,
No, we're not going to talk about that.
No, we're not going to talk about it.
that.
So that's that. But I love that she's doing, Pat. They hate what she's doing because that's what they build you up. They give you this power so you never talk about them and you never do this. They're all getting exposed. I absolutely love what she's doing. Nicki Minaj doesn't give a damn. She spoke up for the people, the Christians dying in Nigeria. She has the Holy Spirit in her. I don't care what anybody says. That's what's happening. It's a revival.
If you're watching this, if you're cold like we are and you want to wear a sweater, you just don't know what you want that sweater to represent, we have options for you, okay? We have an entire section because of the amount of messages.
Okay, that's Patrick Bet-David's channel. Clearly, he sells some merchandise. So if you guys want to support him, feel free to go to his channel. But this was just a clip to kind of show some of the allegations that's being made about the weird practices that Hollywood celebrities do. And, you know, how they're kind of behind pushing a narrative that's meant to attack maybe a more conservative viewpoint. And I guess Nicki Minaj doesn't want to be associated with that, with the Hollywood elites. And so she came out against it to say she's not a part of it and she's trying to air it out. Now, just to add a little bit of context, I do know that she had some contract disputes with Jay-Z, where she felt like maybe Jay-Z didn't pay her money and things of that nature. And there have been things said in the past to try to stain his name and make him look bad. I don't know the full extent of that life over there. I don't know whether or not those allegations are true, but it does seem like she implicated Jay-Z's name in the conversation, along with a few other celebrities, hopefully to start a conversation, I guess, to start a conversation about questioning him and what he's into and things of that nature. I don't know. It's not for me to sort of make allegations or know much about. This is all things that's being alleged. There hasn't been anything proven to that point. That being said, that's not to say it's true or it's not true. I don't know the fullness of it. I do know that to add context, there are some disagreements that she has that could be a motivation to make him look bad or to potentially put him in a position where he's got another Diddy type of trial against him. You know what I mean? And to stain his public image. So take it as you may, right? Again, you know, all you could do is, you know, pray. You don't know what's going on, man. Like if you're a Christian person in this world and you just want to live a peaceful life, you don't know what's going on, right? But at the end of the day, you know, it is good to be diligent and to make sure that you are reading your Bible, to make sure that you are not conforming to the world, because this is exactly the stuff that's being talked about in the world, is how people are involved in things that goes directly against God's will. And, you know, you want to guard your heart and prevent yourself from that. That being said, that's going to be it for us on this particular segment. I thought I'd do a little reaction video to that. We've touched upon a few different topics, you know, about the sides. And I do think it's important because, you know, the Bible says that God's going to separate the sheep from the goats. And a lot of times you're living in a world where you can't necessarily tell who's who. So you just want to make sure that, you know, if you are on God's side, that you are more aligned with the sheep as opposed to being aligned with the goats. That aside, you know, all we can do is pray that if these people are doing something crazy behind closed doors, that God will open their eyes and change their hearts so that they come over to the proper side. That aside, I've said that a couple times actually. I wish you all guys well, and thank you again for joining me. If you are not already a member, as I said in prior videos, make sure you like and subscribe to the channel and let your voice be heard. Thanks again, and until we speak again, be well. Bless.